We now live in a society where we have our youths and young men of today becoming the lead in social vices, where we have immoral youths in our society who does not have moral values in our society. Now, there are a lot of factors that has brought about this, but I'm going to dwell in just a very few. Now, look at this. In Proverbs chapter 22 verse 6, the Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's old he was not going to depart from it. Now in the Message Bible says, point your child to where he should be, and when he's old he will not get lost. There are parents of today who in the name of civilization has refused to train their children. Because of civilization, they have lost the core African values of training a child. It is easy to discipline a child when he is a child than to train up an adult in the name of being your child. When you discipline a child, it takes it up as a correction. But when you discipline an adult, it becomes a punishment or a force control from the parents. It's just like a clay. When a clay is wet, you can correct, you can remold it very well. But when a clay is hard or dry, then when you try to implement corrections on that clay, it gets the clay destroyed or it leaves it with a mark. That's what happens when we refuse to train our children and we try to train them when they are adults. Now that is one aspect of the problem we have in the society with the young generation of today. Our mothers and our fathers of today has refused to train our children, and they are leaving them in the name of civilization, and the children becomes adults and start doing what is not right. Now the second aspect of this are parents that have done all they can to train their children in the way of the Lord, in the way they want the children to be, in our cultural way. But at the end of the day, the children turn up to become the opposite of what they are training. I'm going to give you the reason for this. Have you noticed that you can train your child very well, and the school your child attends can retrain your child? You know what that means? That a school is very expensive does not make it morally right. If you go to many schools today, in the name of civilization, they are allowing things that are not culturally right, morally right, your religiously right lives to happen. You are a child of God, but your children are going to schools where they can allow them club, where they can allow them do any vices they want, where they no longer put a checkmate on them, especially the nursery, primary and secondary schools, because what you allow in the nursery, primary and secondary school is what your children will practice in the university. So you see those kind of schools, and yes, they are very expensive, but you put them in. So I want every parent to start asking yourself this question. Number one, what is my core moral values? Two, the school I put my children in, what are their core moral values? Second, three, are their core moral values the same with my core moral value? Four, what is my faith? What do I believe in? Am I a Christian? Am I a Muslim? Am I a pagan? Does the school my children are going to believe in the same thing I believe in? If you are able to check these things, then you can be able to also instill the same moral value you give them as home training. They will still continue it in the school. But when you finish training them at home, and then they get to school and the school value system is different from what you believe in, they will untrain your children and retrain them to become a disaster in the society. I'm going to give you an example from the school my wife once taught. In that school, you are not allowed to discipline a child. You're not allowed to caution a child when he's going wrong. You just only report them to the principal. So a class teacher, if a child is doing wrong, you don't do anything, you don't talk to them, and you just tell the principal. Now those things are written on the four corners of the wall for the students to see. Now what is their basis? They say these students are the ones that pay the school fees which they used to pay the teachers. So if the students get angry and report you to their parents, the parents will stop paying and you will not be paid your salary. In a particular time, a student in my wife's class was caught watching pornography in her phone, and my wife seized the phone and tried to caution the child. The child went to the principal and reported, so my wife was queried for trying to look into her phone, that the phone is her private property. So because of that, I told my wife to resign from that school, because one, we are priests. She's the wife of a pastor, and she cannot be in a school that will not allow her to also caution and instill discipline in the life of the children. These are one of many of the kind of schools we have in our generation today. What kind of school are your children attending? That will help you to also drive home the discipline you want your children to get to. I am Pastor Nwachukwu Joshua and this is Value Added Truth. I want you to give us a feedback on how our videos have been able to help you, how our videos have not touched your lives. I want you to be a part, support, sponsor, and do your contributions to keep this ministry going. Remember, this is November, and November we are going all out in different outreaches. We have our crusade on the 10th to 11th. You can be a part of it. Share, subscribe to all our platforms, and God will bless you. See you in the next video.